My loving audience take my love and subscribes my channel. Wait, did we just see that? A high-speed chase in the middle of Fairmont Crest? Tomas Navarro is literally running after Hayley Lawson Hamilton while she bolts with Bill's money. Was this just a simple mistake, or was it the moment the most dangerous grifter in the DMV finally ran out of road? You have to wonder, was Tomas just trying to save the firm's cash, or was he chasing the truth that could finally dismantle the whole Hamilton legacy? Well, think about it. This isn't just about a bag of money. This is the explosion of a year-long plot that has been simmering under the surface of Beyond the Gates. For months, we've watched Hayley play a terrifying game of pharmaceutical roulette with Bill Hamilton's heart. She wanted to be a rich widow, right? That was the whole plan. But the funny thing is, the walls are finally closing in, and they are closing in fast. Let's look at how we got here because this situation is honestly wild. This all started because Hayley and her cousin Randy got a little too greedy. Randy warned her, didn't he? He told her she was being sloppy by upping the dosage of that toxin. They wanted a fast result. They wanted Bill dead before he could realize what was happening. They even had this whole plan to kill him in St. Bart's because they figured there wouldn't be an autopsy there. She was going to come home with an urn and a massive check. But St. Bart's was a total bust. Bill went down, but he didn't stay down. He went into cardiac arrest 3 times on the operating table, but he survived. He got a pacemaker installed, and suddenly, Hayley's retirement plan became a potential life sentence. Can you imagine the panic she must be feeling? Your husband is supposed to be out of the picture, but instead, he's waking up and asking for his ex-wife, Danny. That has to sting, right? But it wasn't just the medical miracle that tripped her up. It was the money. Hayley started making mistakes that even a rookie grifter would avoid. That $16,000 hotel bill for the mysterious Lynette? That was a huge red flag. Bill isn't stupid. He's a calculated criminal defense attorney. He knows when things don't add up. When he got that fraud alert from the hotel, he started remembering all those little moments with Hayley that felt off. The seeds of doubt were planted, and they were watered by Kat Richardson and Tomas. Tomas has been waiting for this moment. Remember when Hayley tried to scare him? She reminded him that she was Bill's wife and basically told him to back off. But Tomas didn't blink. He told her he'd still be standing when it all blew up for her. And now, here we are. He saw her running, and he didn't hesitate. He gave chase because he knew exactly what she was. Now, let's talk about the psychology of this chase for a second. Why is Tomas the one running? It's because he's the only one who never bought the sweet wife act. While Bill was blinded by his own ego, thinking he was the one who did the cheating and the manipulating, Tomas saw the predator beneath the surface. For Tomas, this is personal. It's about his professional integrity. Chasing her is his way of reasserting order in a world that Hayley has turned into total chaos. And what about Hayley? Internally, she has to be feeling a mix of rage and pure terror. She feels entitled to that money. She thinks she earned it by spending a year poisoning her husband. To see it all slip away because of a fraud alert and a junior partner, that has to be her worst nightmare. She doesn't feel guilt. She just feels the sting of being outplayed. And we can't forget about Randy Parker. Randy is the wild card here. He's her accomplice, but he's also a man who is terrified for his own life. He's scared of Joey Armstrong. He knows Joey is suspicious. If Randy sees Hayley being chased down by a high-profile lawyer like Tomas, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to throw her under the bus to save himself. I mean, wouldn't you? If it's a choice between a life in prison or a deal with the DA, Randy is going to flip in a heartbeat. He's already switching sides in his mind. He's seen the blood in the water. This chase is the final signal that the game is over. But let's reframe this for a second. Is Hayley a brilliant villain or just a sloppy grifter who got lucky? Honestly, I think she's a bit of both. She managed to poison a powerful man for a year without getting caught. That takes some serious nerve. But her ego made her think she was untouchable. She thought she could pay for Lynette's hotel stay and no one would notice. That's the psychological trap of the grifter. You start believing your own lies. You think you're the smartest person in the room. But Tomas was always smarter. He was just waiting for her to trip. And what happens next? This chase is going to have huge consequences for everyone in Fairmont Crest. When Bill finally faces the truth, it's going to be worse than the heart attack. His pride is going to be shattered. He was outsmarted by a woman he thought he controlled. I expect him to go into total revenge mode. He might even call in a favor from Joey Armstrong to exterminate the problem. And then there's Heather Armstrong. She's Joey's sister, and she's supposedly even more dangerous than he is. She smells blood, and a cornered Hayley is the perfect prey for someone like Heather. Can you imagine the blackmail potential there? Heather could use Hayley to get into Joey's business. It's a shark-eat-shark world out there. The funny thing is, some fans think this storyline is beyond ridiculous. But isn't that why we watch? We want the high stakes. We want the heart-stopping reveals. Beyond the Gates is making history as a black-lead soap, and it's giving us rich black people doing messy things, just like Michelle Val Jean promised. This chase is the physical manifestation of the narrative breaking wide open. It's the moment the show shifts from a slow-burn mystery to a high-octane thriller. The writers have let this Kill Bill plot simmer for a year, and now it's finally boiling over. I totally agree with Tomas taking matters into his own hands. The time for polite legal warnings ended the second Hayley started upping the toxin. If Bill won't protect himself, someone has to. And Tomas is the perfect person for the job. He's confident, and he's been right all along. Watching him pin her down, because we know he's going to catch her, is going to be so satisfying. I can already see the look on Bill's face when the limo pulls up and he sees his wife being apprehended by his junior partner. That's going to be the performance of the year. So, what do you think? Should Tomas have just called the cops, or are you glad he's playing the hero? And let's be real, is Hayley actually going to jail, or does she have one more trick up her sleeve? Maybe she'll try to blame the whole thing on Randy. She's cutthroat enough to do it. She could claim Randy was her jealous lover who poisoned Bill to have her all to himself. Can you imagine that twist? It would be classic Hayley. But Randy knows her secrets. He knows about the past cons. He knows where the bodies are buried. If she turns on him, he's going to spill everything. It's also interesting to look at the Dupree family in all of this. They are supposed to be black royalty, right? But lately, they've been written as a bit weak, needing help from local criminals like Joey Armstrong. This Hayley situation is their chance to reclaim their power. If they can cast out this parasite, they might finally get back to being the powerhouse family we know they can be. But Danny is still conflicted. She's eating up Bill's apologies, even though her family is looking on in horror. Will she finally see Hayley for what she is, or will she be too distracted by her history with Bill? And we have to talk about the Articulates connection. The show recently gave us that amazing reunion concert with Anita, Sharon, and Tracy. It was such a beautiful moment, but even that had a dark side with the mention of Barbara Mitchell's suicide. The writers are so good at weaving these emotional threads together. It makes the high-stakes drama feel more grounded. We care about these people, so when Tomas is chasing Hayley, we aren't just watching a stunt, we're watching a family struggle for survival. The psychological layer here is just so deep. We're dealing with the fear of the imposter in the house. We've all had that nagging feeling that someone close to us isn't who they say they are. Bill lived with that fear for a year but chose to ignore it because it was easier than facing the truth. Hayley running away is the mask finally being ripped off. She's not the intelligent fiancée or the helpful paralegal anymore. She's just a woman with a bag of stolen money, running for her life. I predict that when Tomas catches her, he's going to find something even darker than just the cash. Maybe he'll find the toxin. Or maybe he'll find evidence of her past victims. We know she's a grifter who steals fortunes. Who's to say Bill was her first target? This could open up a whole new set of mysteries. And with the show being renewed for more seasons, We know there's plenty of time to explore those dark corners. What's your take on the Randy factor? Do you think he's really going to run? He's tried it before, remember? He stole from Joey and took off, and he'd be dead right now if the McBrides hadn't stepped in. If he runs again, he might not get so lucky. Joey is like a shark, and Heather is even worse. Randy is caught between a rock and a hard place. If he stays, he might go to prison. If he runs, Joey might find him. It's a lose-lose situation for him, and honestly, he brought it on himself by helping Hayley. The dynamic between Kat and Bill is also getting interesting. Kat clapped back at him for not trusting Tomas. She's one step ahead. She knows Hayley was the one who went after Tomas. It's like the younger generation is more awake to the danger than the veterans are. Kat and Tomas are a power couple in the making, and if they are the ones who finally bring Hayley down, it's going to be a huge shift in the Fairmont Crest power structure. Let's be honest, the Kill Bill story has been going on for a year, and some people are bored. But I think this chase is exactly what was needed to inject some new energy. It's fast, it's physical, and the stakes are as high as they can get. It's not just a conversation in a hallway anymore. It's a pursuit. And in a soap opera, a pursuit usually ends in a massive revelation. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see what happens when Tomas finally catches up. The writers are really playing with the concept of deliciously entertaining drama here. They know we want to see Hayley fail. They know we want to see Tomas win. But they also know how to throw a curveball. What if Hayley isn't the only one running? What if someone else is involved? There are so many moving parts in Beyond the Gates right now, from Andre's mysterious past to the impending arrival of more Hamilton family members. It's a tangled web, and Hayley is right in the center of it. I also want to give a shout out to the fashion on the show. Even when they are running for their lives or lying in hospital beds, everyone looks incredible. Jerisa Featherstone is doing an amazing job with the wardrobe. It adds that layer of black royalty that makes the show stand out. It's progressive, it's stylish, and it's unlike anything else on daytime TV right now. Even Hayley, in her desperate getaway, probably looks like $1 million. But back to the chase. Can we talk about the sheer audacity of Hayley trying to run with a bag of money? She's in a gated community. Where does she think she's going? Does she have a getaway car waiting? Or was this just a blind, panicked reaction to Tomas catching her? It shows just how much her composure has shattered. She used to be so calculated, so cold. Now she's just a cornered animal. And that's when people are at their most dangerous. Tomas needs to be careful. He's chasing a woman who has nothing left to lose. And speaking of nothing to lose, what about Bill? If he finds out his heart is failing because of the woman he loves, will he even want to recover? Or will that rage give him the strength he needs to fight back? I want to see Revenge Bill. I want to see the calculated attorney use his skills to dismantle Hayley's life. He knows the law, and he probably knows a few people outside the law, too. If he decides to go after her, there's nowhere she can hide. I'm also curious about the Lynette mystery. Who is she? Is she another grifter? Or is she someone from Hayley's past who's blackmailing her? $16,000 is a lot of money for a one-week hotel stay. There has to be more to that story. Maybe Lynette is the real mastermind, and Hayley is just the foot soldier. That would be a massive twist, wouldn't it? Reframing Hayley as a victim of someone even more ruthless would be a wild direction for the writers to take. But for now, all eyes are on that chase. Tomas is fast, but Hayley is desperate. Who's going to win? My money is on Tomas, but I wouldn't count Hayley out just yet. She survived this long for a reason. She's a survivor, even if she's a villainous one. But even the best survivors eventually run out of luck. And with the fraud alerts, the pacemaker, and Tomas right behind her, it looks like Hayley's luck has finally run dry. This whole thing feels like a metaphor for the show itself. Beyond the Gates started with a lot of pressure, first new soap in 25 years, big expectations. And just like Tomas, the show is finding its stride. It's moving faster, it's getting more intense, and it's not afraid to be soapy in the best way possible. The fans are divided, the stakes are high, and honestly, that's exactly what a good soap should be. Don't you think it's interesting how the writers are using the younger actors to drive the plot? Kat, Tomas, Eva, they are the ones who are seeing the truth. They are the ones taking action. It's a passing of the torch, in a way. The older generation, like Bill and Danny, are bogged down by their history and their emotions. But the younger generation is sharp. They don't have the same blind spots. And that's why Tomas is the one giving chase. He's the future of Fairmont Crest, and Hayley is a ghost from a past that needs to be buried. The emotional insight here is that Bill is finally realizing his own mortality. It wasn't just the heart attack, it was the realization that he was vulnerable to someone he trusted. That's a heavy psychological blow. And for Danny, it's the realization that her instincts were right all along. She warned everyone about Hayley, but no one listened. Being right is a hollow victory when your family is falling apart, but it's a victory nonetheless. What's your prediction for the next episode? Do you think the chase ends with a physical confrontation? Or does Hayley manage to slip away one last time? I want to see a showdown. I want to see Tomas confront her with all the evidence. I want to see him tell her I told you so. It would be the perfect payoff for all the tension they've built up over the past year. And we can't ignore the Randy factor. If Randy flips, the whole house of cards falls down. He's the key to everything. If the DA offers him a deal, Hayley is done for. And honestly, Randy looks like the type who would fold the second a detective looks at him funny. He's not a master criminal, he's just a cousin who got caught up in something way over his head. His fear of Joey Armstrong is going to be the thing that saves Bill's life, or at least brings Hayley to justice. Let's be real, Hayley's Black Widow routine was never going to last forever. You can only poison a man for so long before someone notices. And upping the dosage was her fatal mistake. It shows her lack of patience. She wanted the money now. She didn't want to wait another year. And that greed is what's going to lead her straight to a prison cell. It's a classic morality tale wrapped in a high-fashion soap opera. The funny thing is, we still don't know what Bill will do if he survives this. Will he go back to Danny? Or will he be too broken to love anyone? The Hamilton/Dupree drama is far from over, even if Hayley is out of the picture. There are so many other secrets waiting to be revealed. And with the show being such a hit, we know the writers have plenty of tricks left. I'm also keeping an eye on Heather Armstrong. She's a psycho sister with a reputation for being evil. If she decides to get involved in the Hayley mess, things are going to get even more chaotic. Heather doesn't care about justice, she just cares about power. If she can use Hayley's secret to her advantage, she will. She's like a shark circling a sinking ship. And right now, Hayley's ship is definitely sinking. What do you think of the fans calling the storyline beyond ridiculous? I think it's a badge of honor for a soap. If it's not a little ridiculous, it's not doing its job. We want the drama, the toxins, the high-speed chases. It's an escape from the real world. And Beyond the Gates is delivering that escape in a way that feels fresh and exciting. It's deliciously entertaining, and I'm here for every second of it. Tomas is the hero we need right now. He's the one who stayed focused when everyone else was distracted. He's the one who didn't let Hayley's intimidation tactics work. And he's the one who's literally running to save the day. It's a star-making turn for Alex Alegria, and I can't wait to see where they take his character next. Maybe he'll become the new head of the firm. Or maybe he'll find a new rival even more dangerous than Hayley. The future of Beyond the Gates looks bright, even if things are looking dark for Hayley. We have the upcoming crossovers with The Young and the Restless, the arrival of new characters, and the continued drama of the Dupree family. There's so much to look forward to. But for today, it's all about the chase. It's Tomas versus Hayley. Justice versus greed. And I have a feeling justice is about to win. So, make sure you're tuned into every episode. You don't want to miss the moment the chase ends. It's going to be the talk of the town, and the talk of the internet. Will Hayley go to jail? Will Bill get his revenge? Will Randy flip? We're about to find out. This is the kind of drama that keeps soaps alive, and I'm so glad Beyond the Gates is leading the way. I want to hear from you in the comments. Who are you rooting for? Do you think Hayley has a secret accomplice we haven't seen yet? And what do you think Bill's first move will be when he catches her? Let's get a debate going. This storyline is too juicy to keep to ourselves. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more breakdowns and spoilers. We're covering everything that happens beyond the gates, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Like this video if you want to see Hayley finally face the music, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the lives of the rich and messy in Fairmont Crest. We'll see you in the next one.